Hello, Sebastian here from Potzer Analytics. Today we're going to be talking about the fox in the chicken coop. This is one of the fundamental endgame positions and a must-know for anybody in the 1000 to 1200 rating range. A fox in the chicken coop position is a king and pawn endgame where both players have frozen pawns. So both white and black have pawns that cannot make progress past each other. And one side, in this case white, has a passed pawn that is on the opposite side of the board as the frozen pawns. So white has two threats. First, he has his passed pawn, and if he can, he'd like to get his king over to the black pawns, capture them, and then get one of his other pawns to the back to promote to a queen. So white has two threats here that are on opposite sides of the board, and that's what identifies as a fox in the chicken coop position. A fox in the chicken coop position is a sure win for the player who has a passed pawn. And the reason is because, in this case, white has two threats on opposite sides of the board, and black only has one resource, one king, to try to stop both the passed pawn and protect his own pawns from being captured. And black doesn't have enough time to stop both those threats. So this is a sure win for white if he follows the strategy, and there's nothing that black can do from stopping him. So in order to win this position, white needs to follow the following strategy. First, he needs to use his passed pawn with his king to push the black king backwards. This is going to give his white king time to get over to the black pawns. Then he's going to abandon his passed pawn. He's going to sacrifice that passed pawn and use it as bait to get his king to capture the black pawns, and he will then be left with two connected passed pawns, which he can easily promote one of them to a queen and get checkmate. So let's see how white can carry out this strategy in order to find a win here. So white's first move is to use his passed pawn to push the black king backwards. That's going to give him time to slide his king over and towards the black pawns and capture them, which in this case, the black pawns are the chickens in the coop, and the king is considered the fox in our fox in the chicken coop scenario. So let's see how black responds to this. Black just moves his king backwards, and now white is sliding his king over. So here, white forces black to make a decision. Either black is going to stay with the passed pawn, or he's going to move his king closer to his pawns and stop the white king from getting in. So black needs to make a choice, and let's see what black chooses. He chooses to stay with the passed pawn, and that's usually what happens, is that black chooses to stay with the immediate threat, which is the passed pawn. And that's actually what white wants. White wants to use that passed pawn as bait. He's going to sacrifice it because that's going to allow him to get in. And let's see what white does. Exactly that. And now black captures white pawn, and white takes out the black pawns, and he's left with two connected passed pawns. And there's no way that black can stop both of these passed pawns. One of them is going to make it to the back, promote to a queen, and white will checkmate black. So let's go back to that key decision point. So here, black was forced to make a decision, and we just saw that he chose to stay with the passed pawn. But what if instead he chose to stay with his own pawns and protect them by moving his king over? How would white respond to that play? So let's see how that would play out. So here, all white needs to do is continue pushing his passed pawn. And if black ignores it, that pawn is going to make it to the back and promote to a queen. So white is basically forcing black to stay with that passed pawn. He's forcing him to abandon his own pawns. So here, black caves. He gives in and he stays with the passed pawn, which is exactly what white wanted, because now white captures the black pawns, and once again, he's left with two connected passed pawns There's no way black can stop both of them. One of them will get to the back and promote to a queen. So that is the strategy of the fox in the chicken coop position. Let's take a look at another example. Here, black has a fox in the chicken coop position because both players, white and black, have frozen pawns on one side of the board, and black has a pass pawn on the opposite side of the board. So black has a fox in chicken coop position, and he has a sure win if he follows the correct strategy. So pause the video and see if you can find what is the best first move for black in this position. So if you said A5, nice job. That's right, because black is going to use his pass pawn as bait to suck over the white king, which is going to clear the path for his king to get over to the white pawns. So let's just see how this plays out. White is forced to go over to the pass pawn. He can't just ignore it. And now black is free to get his king into the white pawns. And black is left with 3 connected pass pawns. One of them is going to get to the back to promote to a queen. There's no way that white can stop all of these pawns from promoting. So this is a win for black. So now that you know the fox and the chicken coop endgame position, how can we use that knowledge of the principle of the endgame to help us make decisions in the middle game? So let's take a look at another example here. So here we have white to move, and white needs to make a decision. Either he is going to trade queens with black or make some other move. So what do you think? Do you think white should trade queens? If you said yes, then you're right. Great job. And the reason is because now white is left with a fox in the chicken coop position, which is a sure win for white. And going back one move, and when you're trying to answer this question, you just need to look one move ahead and identify what is the position immediately after trading queens. And in this case, white can identify that that is a fox in the chicken coop position, which will be a win for him. So he doesn't need to see the entire path to victory. He just needs to be able to identify that the following position is a win for him. Therefore, he should trade queens in this position. So let's just play this out to see how white actually achieves the win here. So, of course, we know that trading queens is the right move. Black forced to capture back. And now, white is going to use his king and pawn to push back the black king. And here, white needs to be patient. He can't just jump that pawn 2 spaces ahead. If he does, then black can just slide his king over and capture that pass pawn, and that would just lose the win for white immediately. So white needs to be patient using his pass pawn here. And black usually stays with the pass pawn. If he chooses to make a run for it, that is just a quicker loss. And you can play around with this position and see for yourself that black does not have enough time to capture the white pawns and then run back over to try to stop the white pawn from promoting. So let's just play the main line here, which is black sticking with the pass pawn. And we'll just play this out really fast. So here now, white abandons that pawn. White is left with 2 connected pass pawns. One of them is going to make it to the back. So this is a win for white. So that is the fox in the chicken coop. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot and you take this new knowledge and go and beat all of your friends. Subscribe to this channel to get access to all of our lessons, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.